Longue vie et prospérité à vous. Le stream va commencer un peu plus tôt que d'habitude. J'ai réglé mes problèmes qui me permis mes problèmes- qui a pu de commencer plus tôt. Normalement, demain, ça devrait être à peu près à la même heure, soit 16 heures, soit 17 heures. Il se peut que la semaine prochaine, il y aurait pas de stream. Soit il se peut que je poste une vidéo pour fêter les 2 ans de ma vidéo YouTube. Bon, sur ce, je vous laisse et c'est parti pour une nouvelle aventure.
There's been a temporal disturbance in the 27th century. It's happening in the Lurs system. Vorgon mercenaries are targeting a scientist named Cal Dano. This is big. We must keep Dano and his research out of Vorgon hands. I've transmitted the temporal coordinates. Meet me there. Do you have any questions? Time shift complete. Permission to come aboard? Cal Dano is stationed here at a Daystrom Institute research facility. The Vorgons may already have what they came for. Bring us into scanning range. We need to find out. He's a brilliant scientist who recently completed work on a quantum phase inhibitor known as the Tox-Utot. While it was designed for peaceful purposes, the Tox-Utot could be a powerful weapon in the wrong hands. Hands like those of the It's highly likely the Vorgons are at Cal Dano's research facility trying to get what they want. I'll take point on this one. I need you to keep an eye on that Vorgon ship and its crew. They might send reinforcements, or open fire from orbit. The Vorgons have cornered Caldano. Engaging them now.
Out after our disagreement.
This is Baratas, commander of the VSV Aberel. You are interfering with the private matter that does not concern you. Identify yourself.
My name is Azure. Baratas and I pursue a researcher named Caldano, and have been for some time. He has created a weapon of mass destruction. A very valuable weapon. The Tox Uthat and its maker will be ours. Our reinforcements are en route. You should not have interfered.
Caldano's safe. For now. We're ready to beam up. Since these Vorgons aren't of this era, destroying them won't disrupt the timeline. Caldano must fulfill his personal destiny. I've given him my time ship to do so. Please clear it for launch. Trust me on this. I can always get another More Vorgons. We need to cover Cal's escape. Almost there. Just keep the Vorgons busy a bit longer. He made it. The time ship is safely on its way.
This is a temporary setback. Your interference will not keep us from Caldano or the Tox Uthat. History can be changed, as you will see.
The Arborel just engaged a temporal drive. They're gone. The Vorgons know a lot about the Tox Uthat and its history. They'll want to reach a pivotal point in its timeline. There! I have them. Reading a new temporal ripple. In the year 2152. Unfortunately, I can't ask Captain Archer to get involved in this one, so if you don't mind. Temporal course... The time ship, or what's left of it, is currently on Enterprise, along with the body of Caldano. He wound up here after a temporal incident that ended his long life and career. The Vorgons don't know this, however. We can't let them endanger Enterprise or...
History shows you have a habit of meddling in the affairs of others.
We believe it is time to break you of that habit.
Unidentified vessels. You are temporal anomalies. You do not belong. Your chronoton signature matches a vessel we seek. We will know why. Submit to investigation, or you will be
Tholian Captain, we are not aligned with these interlopers. In fact, we would be...
Alliance proposal refused. You are anomalous.
The Arborel's performing a temporal shunt. They're escaping! There's a Vulcan rescue team on its way to aid the Dakir. We should leave before they arrive and ask questions we're not prepared to answer. Scanning for the Vorgons now. Ah, of course. They're heading to the Risa system in 2366. The Toxutot was buried there, and it's about to be discovered by Jean-Luc Picard. That's the official record, yes. Truth is, Captain Picard realized the scientific value of the Toxutot and faked its destruction to fool the Vorgons. It worked. Until now. I'm reading a new disturbance. Sol System 2375. They know where it is. Course locked in. Are you ready for transit? The Toxutot is here. in a high-security vault under Starfleet command. It held up for quite some time. I suspect our Vorgon friends are getting some help. History shows them giving up the hunt after their failure at Risa. Let's take advantage of this lull in the battle to beam down, while we still can. Are you ready to beam down to Starfleet HQ?
In orbit, the Federation fleet has engaged the Breen invasion force. Reports from San Francisco estimate casualties in the tens of thousands. Starfleet Command is under heavy fire at this time.
We should probably ask that researcher what he knows.
Oh, thank God you're not Breen. This is a nightmare. I think they're heading to the vault. What's left of my research team grabbed phasers from a security station and decided to hold the line. Against Breen soldiers. Complete, utter insanity. Please, help.
Thanks for the assist. Anything I can help you with?
The Federation fleet is advancing on the Breen positions, but casualties are high on both sides. Breen shock troops are beaming to locations on Earth, where ground combat is the heaviest. Lastly, we have unofficial reports that Starfleet Academy is preparing to be overrun.
Thanks for the help. The Breen thought Starfleet scientists couldn't fight. As you can see, they were greatly mistaken. Funny you should mention that. We have. One of my team picked up 2 Vorgon life signs in the vault on local sensors, just before the Breen came to call. I notified security, for all the good that did. Let me buzz you in. Main access? Damn! This thing's a total loss. I can open up secondary access for you, but you should know, the Breen made it in there. Could be rough.
Reports of a major strike led by the USS Cairo and the USS Enterprise are coming in. The Breen battle line appears to be breaking down, though heavy ground combat continues at several locations.
I've brought you this far, and you still won't join me?
No, Envoy. Your war with the Federation doesn't concern us.
Only the Tox Uthat matters. Nothing else. We are not alone in that pursuit, as you can see.
These must be the meddlers that you spoke of, Baratus. Kill them quickly.
We were so close.
Azure, no! No! Envoy, show yourself!
Having trouble, are we? You see now the depths our foes will go to, Baratus. Join me, and you'll have your revenge. I swear it.
Very well. I will follow your lead, Envoy. For vengeance.
Vengeance, indeed.
I'll be fine. We need to focus. Find the tox. I'm afraid that's need-to-know information. And right now, you don't need to know. I'm... You did well. However, the Envoy keeps gaining allies. First the Nakul, and now the Vorgons. We've been hearing a name in chatter lately. The Temporal Liberation Front. Sounds like our friends are more organized than we thought. Thankfully, we kept them from Caldano and the Toxutat. I don't like to think about what could have happened otherwise. In other universes.
Je vais disparaître pendant 2 secondes. À tout de suite. Et c'est reparti pour la suite des aventures.
We have discovered that the Sphere Builders have been conducting operations in other universes. They aren't just looking to make changes in time, but in other dimensions as well. Their experiments in the parallel universe have produced results that will aid them in forming expanses here. We need to travel to that reality and stop the Sphere Builder research, while we still can. In 2387, an incident created a quantum rift between our universe and this one. A Romulan ship accidentally traveled here through a singularity. They found themselves in 2233 and later destroyed the USS Kelvin in battle. This caused their timeline to differ from ours. As a result, we now refer to it as the Kelvin timeline. We believe the Sphere Builders communicate with their operatives through the rift. Yes, in our timeline, they used the Zindi as a... I'm reading multiple spheres under construction in this sector, as well as the wreckage of spheres. I suspect the local forces are trying to prevent an expanse from being formed. This sphere isn't active yet. We need to neutralize it before the builders can create an expanse.
Starfleet Command, this is the USS Yorktown. We are under attack and require...
I do hope you come to...
Reading multiple Klingon life signs on Yorktown's bridge. Enemy reinforcements inbound.
Unidentified vessel. This is the USS Yorktown. We are under attack by Klingon boarding parties. Can you provide assistance? Over here. Greetings. I am Science Officer 0718. Thank you for your very timely assistance. Could you see to Admiral Garrett's medical needs? I am currently interfacing with your crew and the Yorktown's engineering systems to prevent a critical breach of the warp core.
What are you doing here? Last I heard, you were putting fear into the hearts of first-year cadets at the Academy. Never mind for now. Give us a hand here. The Klingons really did a number on us.
Thank you. I thought we were finished. The Klingons were...
Thank you. Oh, my head's still spinning. That last Klingon photon hit sent me flying into the ops console.
Thanks. I hope you're here to deal with these.
We could use some help putting out these fires! Come over here after you've put out the last fire. Over here! Alright. We were about to begin sabotage operations on the sphere when the Klingons came to call. As you can see, Yorktown and her crew are in rough shape. But that thing needs to be neutralized. And I count on you and your crew to help us finish the job. Glad to hear it. We've got explosives ready to go. But we'll need to find a proper infiltration point on the sphere. Work with my science officer to make that happen.
Use the starboard console. Together we can triangulate our scanners. Admiral Garrett, I believe we found a suitable location. I have reviewed your proposed infiltration coordinates. They are tactically sound. We can commence operations at your command. Be advised. In previous encounters on board spheres, the occupants have been quick to mobilize their defense forces. Expect heavy opposition.
I'll stay on the Yorktown to assist Admiral Garrett and his crew. We'll monitor your progress from the bridge and provide tactical updates as we can.
Commander! Kill those intruders!
To date, the most effective Starfleet.
Experiment 2674. Despite attempts to compensate for transdimensional drift, the protocol initiation led to universal instability and, ultimately, entropic acceleration. Galactic habitable spaces, 0. Life signs, minimal.
Receiving data. I had no idea the sphere builders were involved in so many alternate realities.
You cannot stop our plans!
I was part of the team that devised the sphere neutralization tactics aboard USS Enterprise. After our initial success, I was deployed to the Yorktown to share my expertise on...
Experiment 3331. The Expanse grew at an acceptable rate, until it was discovered by the Iconian Dominion Alliance. After intense resistance, we were able to decimate their core systems with targeted micro-expanses. But their desperation assault in subspace led to a complete entropic breakdown and, ultimately, universal disruption. Galactic habitable spaces, zero.
This data, they've exterminated entire galaxies with their experiments.
It seems your alliance with the Klingons has been profitable, builders.
It has. Like the Zindi, they are eager for conquest.
However, the technology you have provided destroys as well as creates.
The Resistance has been disruptive to our progress. Your promises appear thin, Envoy.
I assure you, all is going according to plan. Nothing they will do will keep us from our goals.
And yet, I see a familiar disruption has presented itself again.
A minor nuisance. I suggest letting your Klingons do what they do best.
I will deal with this disruption. It's time you learned that you cannot prevail, intruder. You will fall to ruin. You! I have had enough of you! The Tutarians were a peaceful race, until your misbegotten alliance committed an act of genocide! We were all but annihilated. Only a scant few of us escaped to safety, lost and forgotten within a dimension of... The Envoy has given us the means to manipulate events. We had begun to undo the damage you have done to us. Quantum realms such as this are ours to study without risk to our own. And should this realm unravel, there is an infinite number of realms remaining to... Yes, just as you were willing to do so to achieve your goals, do not presume to judge me, murderer! The Expanse Protocol will wipe you from existence, and with your passing, bring justice to my people at large.
Something is happening. The sphere is emitting a high level of thermobaric radiation. We must complete... finished working on the sphere network. Prepare the final charge for detonation. Final charge deployed. We can
Experiment 4472. Projections indicate increased habitable living area and expanse growth rate. Early estimates suggest a 500% increase. Local resistance, primarily from this realm's version of the Federation, has been crude but effective. Deploying Klingon proxy forces at key sphere deployments should alleviate this concern.
The latest data is local. It corresponds to this universe's quantum signature. Sphere builder ships inbound.
We are being jammed. Go into to recalibrate. The sphere is jamming our transmissions. I will recalibrate our systems so we can... We're going to need to boost our signal to activate the explosives. The thermobaric gas is creating an recalibration complete. I have established a link to the charges on the sphere. Detonation is complete. The sphere is neutralized.
Nice work over there.
It was rough for a moment, but you both...
What the?
I'll see you back on the ship, sir.
Most curious. I believe that wound occurred due to a temporal shift. Something has happened elsewhere. A question for another time, perhaps.
In the end, you came through for us. On behalf of Starfleet and the Yorktown crew, thanks.
Indeed. Safe travels to you and your crew.
The Envoy's been busy since our last meeting. I think we can add the Sphere Builders to our list of known TLF associates and members after this encounter. The Builders are no strangers to temporal war. Their experience could tip the balance of power against us. Fortunately, their ability to operate in our dimension is extremely limited. For now. Some time ago, there was a temporal disruption involving the USS Enterprise C. We thought the matter was fully resolved, but there was an oversight. We need to find one of the Enterprise C survivors, a temporal duplicate of Starfleet Admiral Tenay. Until we reconcile her displacement, the timeline is in jeopardy. There's one person in particular that can provide the location of the survivors, Sela of Romulus. We believe she's operating in the Cytor system. Meet me there to search for Sela and enlist her aid. Stay safe out there. If she's here, we'll need to draw her out. Our intel shows a lot of Romulan activity in the system, in Seela's name. Command believes she's planning an assault of some kind and gathering tactical resources. This looks like an abandoned Tal Shiar base, or what's left of one. It looks like the interior has been stripped of anything useful over an extended period of time. This could be the work of Seela's forces. They've been... Those ships were older, but battle-ready, and in good as long as they keep leaking plasma, we can follow their trail. They're not trying to lose us. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Unidentified ship, you are trespassing in sovereign Romulan space, and you are outnumbered. Surrender now. Oh, it's you again. No. You are still trespassing in my space, and I could use a new ship for my own. Fine, we'll talk. Cut to the chase and tell me what it is you want. Ah, I'd wondered when you'd get around to looking for the Enterprise C survivors. When the Enterprise C survivors were taken, my father agreed to let the rest of the crew live, so long as Lieutenant Yar served as his concubine. She was executed, and what assurances do I have that I won't simply be executed? If I agree to this, I will be held in house arrest, somewhere reasonably pleasant by my own standards. I will The survivors of the Enterprise C were sent to a Tal Shiar prison world. Set a course for the Pictet system. I shall make my way to the bridge of this...
reading several Tholian ships on sensors, along with some unusual temporal fluctuations. Tholians dislike anything involving time travel. We should be cautious.
This is the Pictet system, one of many worlds where the Tal Shiar would send assets important enough to keep, but not threatening enough to kill. Supplies to this world stopped when Hobus was destroyed, but the Enterprise C crew are proven survivors. I admit, the Tholians being here is new.
Something caused it to destabilize quickly. Not a good sign.
Anomaly will be purged, as will you. Vengeance for the fallen.
Another temporal anomaly. It was emitting high levels of tachyon radiation and chronotons before it dispersed. I'll need more data, but I think it was an unstable gateway.
Scan one. I want to see what they were so interested in. My most sincere apologies. I am so used to command and to quick efficiency. I just thought perhaps it would be better if we continued with the mission before more Tholians show up. We can stand around and talk if you like.
Based on these readings, I believe I've found an origin point for these anomalies. They're coming from the... All clear. Let's check out the plan of our camp. I am detecting signs of habitation, but there's a lot of temporal disturbances down there. They're making it hard to obtain a clear reading at this distance.
Assemble your most able crewmen and... My apologies. This is your ship. You give the orders.
We've beamed down into an open courtyard within what's left of the Tal Shiar prison. Doesn't look like it's been inhabited for some time. I'm reading a number...
The shipments of supplies stopped long ago. Anyone alive down here will have a hard time. I suppose that's too bad for Admiral Tenay. That is what this is about, isn't it? There are two of her and no one else. If you find her, I doubt she will be alive. This world was abandoned by the Tal Shiar decades ago. I doubt there's anyone left. The survivors of the Enterprise C might have left personal items behind.
This datapad dates back to the late 23rd century. It lacks power, but it should work once it's recharged. This place hasn't been inhabited for a while. Thing is, the tricorder's giving a range of time from 3 months to 30 years. We're dealing... That's one of the temporal anomalies. I wouldn't recommend entering its area of effect. From what I'm reading here, contact with the anomaly will do considerable damage to anything organic. That being said, Someone's been here recently. The tricorder's picking up numerous signs of habitation in the area. By the look of things, someone stripped this area of all useful items and moved on. This gate appears to have been locked from the outside. Perhaps they knew about the anomaly but didn't have the means to handle it. Ah, there's a manual override over there near our beam-down site. We can use it to open the gates. When we disrupted this anomaly, it seemed to fracture, forcing more anomalies into our timeline. I think we might be able to use that to our benefit, though. I'll stay here and act as an anchor. Find the best spot and use your tricorder to emit the dispersal pattern again. We should be able to push them. The gate controls are trapped within an anomaly. We'll have to disperse it to use them. Looks like some of the closed gateways are rusted now. Find another spot. I think I can see a clear path to the controls. The gate's open. Try to disperse where you are. It should open an escape path for you. Excellent. The gate's open, and we can continue our search for Tanae. Well done. Before we move on, I've managed to bring the datapad online again. It might contain clues on what happened.
Give me that! The first entry dates to 2389, nearly 40 years after she was executed. Or at least 40 years after she was... I am Natasha Yar, Security Chief for the Federation Starship Enterprise D. Well, at least that's who I was. For the past 40 years, I've been Tal Shiar Prisoner 24601. But even that changed a week ago. Our regular supply drops from the Star Empire stopped 3 months ago. The guards started caring too much about what might be going on elsewhere in the quadrant and caring too little about their prisoners. We've managed to recover... Lieutenant Yar was supposed to have been executed. My father said it happened. There were witnesses. How can... The Enterprise C survivors were here, but something drove them away. Something more than the loss of supplies. We should continue looking for the survivors. Your duplicate of Tanae may yet be alive on this rock. It would not have been the first time. No doubt he thought...
Look! There's a path ahead! This anomaly looks more stable than the others. It's probably less deadly, but Let's not find out now.
The generators died and no one knows why. Richard thinks it might have been the big predators. Tanae thinks she might be able to salvage some of the parts. I hope she can. She's been glaring over the remains for the last 3 hours. 2 more dead. We'll build a new settlement in the... Lieutenant Yar never discussed Turkana 4. When I was older, I discovered why. She was a survivor. It is clear that her arrangement with my father was just that. Obviously, she continued that trait.
There's another unstable anomaly. The anomaly has left some of the rock in a molten state.
You took readings in orbit. Surely we should continue looking. Clearly, these anomalies must be connected to your mission. Now, while you take a leisurely stroll through the jungle, I will be moving on. It appears that there are more survivors.
There's a lot of interference, but I think I'm picking up a life sign. Tanae!
Go away! Leave this place! No! Please, not again! Stay away! Stay away!
It seems your duplicate, Tanae, is still alive. And
she's run off. But there's an even larger anomaly close by.
It looks like it was a structure at one point, but I doubt any survivors would remain in
Another
ruin
temporal
like this.
anomaly, and this one is larger than the last. There are temporal eddies moving through the area, and a few stable locations between them. Now, if you establish temporal stabilizers in these 3 locations, there's a stable pocket ahead of you. Set up the first stabilizer there. That's the first stabilizer. 2 more to go. Incredible! Dispersing the anomaly restored more than I expected. We should look for clues.
Found an entire grove of saplings. Richard swears the same area was full of towering trees last week. He might be mistaken. We're both getting older. I thought I saw a Romulan in the brush. He was wearing a 22nd century style uniform. When I looked again, he was gone. Maybe I'm going senile. Richard insists I'm too young. It's because the outside world has been on my mind. Sela has been on my mind. I wonder what happened to her. While her father was a Tal Shiar general, he spared my life in the end. Perhaps he wasn't petty and cruel to her. I hope he wasn't. Shelter ruined, last tricorder gone, half our stores destroyed, 5 dead. The hunters and gatherers returned to find many dead and unconscious. I used my emergency medic training, but I was a security officer, not a doctor. Devek might not make it. None of them can remember what happened. Without the tricorder, we can't scan the area, or...
Some sort of temporal inversion happened here. Some of the rock returned to an earlier molten state, while some of the building materials aged over 200 years. Anyone standing close to these objects would have been...
Well, I suppose it was nice that Yar thought of me. But that doesn't change the fact that she was going to steal me away like a thief in the night. If she had truly cared, she would have stayed where she was. My father was not cruel or petty, at least not to me. He was hard because the Enterprise C survivors were surprisingly resilient. Tasha's notes are more sparse but seem to record a productive, if primitive, community. They mention a secondary site close by.
Over here! There's a path with recent footprints. I'm reading another anomaly, further down the path. Tanae might be there.
The Tanae anomaly and its allies must be merged.
That Tholian away team must have beamed down to investigate the anomalies. This looks to be a well-worn path. Some recent footprints here, heading the other way. They might have run into Tholians.
It seems your Vulcan passed this way recently. Perhaps the cavern mentioned Natasha's logs is... It seems many of the refugees would be alive if it weren't for the anomalies. I wonder how many are left now.
I'm detecting signs of recent habitation in this location.
Maybe we'll find more answers.
This was some sort of dwelling up until a few months ago. If I'm reading this right, there was an explosion.
The anomalies are temporal in origin. I watched Richard wither and die before my eyes. An anomaly appeared, and moments later, he aged 100 years. We buried him this morning in the clearing. I never expected he and I would end this way. I miss him. Richard was a wonderful partner for these last decades, a good man. We built a wonderful life, despite it all. My only regret is that Sela never got to know how kind and brave Richard was. He'd have been Danae hasn't been seen in days. I'm worried she won't come back. I'm worried she will. I thought...
This is Tanae. I have agreed to report the final words of Natasha Yar and to hold this log for the future. If there is one, it isn't here already. What? No. Natasha Yar died of a fever. She wished for the story of the crew of the Enterprise C to be remembered. They were brave beyond expectation. She wished for her daughter to know that she was loved, and that Natasha lived a long and happy life. Do not come near me.
I see movement in the bushes. Tanae?
Stop following me! No, go away! I am dangerous. You should not be here. No, not again.
There's a new anomaly forming.
Tholians!
Purge the anomaly. Purge the contaminant.
anomalies that have been occurring were caused by decades of temporal interference. Because of what happened with the Enterprise C, you exist in two places at once. We can fix this. You and your counterpart can be reintegrated. Your memories will be integrated as well. But
I see the logic in your presence here. I am anomalous. My presence here must be sufficiently reconciled to preserve the order of things. I presume you are here to accomplish this.
All this time, she was here. I believed she was dead. Tasha believed I might come looking for her. She believed it so strongly she left logs in case. Danae held her logs for her. And now... this place has led to some interesting revelations, shall we say? I think it best we leave before more Tholians show up.
looks like we beamed up just in time. Several Tholian ships are on an attack vector.
Something is happening. It's happening again. Another anomaly.
I see you found my displaced temporal counterpart. Well done. An operations team is standing by on this vessel to assist with her temporal reintegration. Please beam her aboard, and we will begin the process. It is possible that I see. Having read the briefing from Starfleet Command, I find her presence here to be most logical, considering the situation. Very well. I will take custody of Sela and deliver her to a secure facility once the reintegration procedure is complete. Beam her aboard with my temporal counterpart.
It seems our journey is at a parting of the ways once more. I did, and I will. But I have a condition. Tell me about my mother.
The timeline is stabilizing. Anomaly counts are dropping, and our agents are reporting a decline in temporal aftershocks due to recent events. That's a good thing, by the way. The aftershocks of our recent discoveries on Pictet may take some time for Sela to resolve, however. I hope she's able to find a sense of peace and closure from what she's learned today. I'll be heading back to Temporal Command once we've fully integrated the two Tenays. Be seeing you.
Congratulations, Admiral.
With the war over, it's time for...
C'est là que se termine ce stream. Je vous remercie de l'avoir suivi. On se retrouve demain, qui sera peut-être même heure, soit 16h ou 17h. Sous ce, longue vie et prospérité à vous.